apple and cinnamon and flour. Gonna dust that off with a little Mr. Wash. Hi, this is ZonalFear. Today I am going to be back playing Grocery Store Simulator on the PC. So I've played it a little bit a short while ago and I'm playing it some more now. We're still a relatively small store. However, I have been playing this game quite a lot on a different PC. There's no cloud saves currently supported by this game at the moment. So you're able to have two separate saves if you happen to have two PCs. So that's what I'm doing here. So I've got a pretty good intricate knowledge of how the game works now. And yeah, so we're back now on my starter shop that I have on my sort of gaming room PC. This is one of those games that I've been really enjoying actually for quite a while. I think I've got about 30 hours in it so far. It's got a couple of things going for it that I think are really important. So one of the things is that the developer of the game seems to be working, pretty quickly on getting patches out and stuff like that. There was quite an important patch the other day for the game where the developer patched up the netcode for the game, which was actually causing me a problem. So in case you didn't know, Grocery Store Simulator is actually multiplayer online. Unlike Supermarket Simulator, I think this is probably Grocery Store Simulator's biggest selling point actually. So I've been playing this with a couple of other people over on multiplayer, and I've been having a lot of fun on it. It's definitely worth the price of admission alone, based on the multiplayer itself. And I think that out of all the things that supermarket games have going for them at the moment, Grocery Store Simulator's thing that it has going for it is co-op, and you can play with your friends. The developer seems to be working on it in a fairly timely manner, quietly but regularly releasing updates as well. So I also quite like that. One of the things I didn't like about Supermarket Simulator, so let me just see what I need. So apple and cinnamon, Mr. Wash. So one of the things I actually didn't like about Supermarket Simulator is, as much as it pains me to say it, I'm not actually a big fan of the community around Supermarket Simulator. I've been quite involved in gaming communities over the years. Some of you who may know of me will know that I was quite big on the EA Battlefield forums. We're going back a little bit now, but I am big on community, and I think community can really add something to a game. Getting a bit distracted here. So apple cinnamon, Mr. Wash. So yeah, community can really add something to a game. However, I'm not a big fan of Supermarket Simulator's community. It was not for me. I tried joining the Discord not long after the game came out, and it was just, I mean, maybe it's different for some people, but yeah, I'm a fully grown adult man, and I don't really have time for some of the nonsense that I was seeing on there, So it's not for me. Whereas at least with Grocery Store Simulator, there's no real massive sort of community attached to it like there is Supermarket Simulator. So it doesn't have that sort of toxic feeling that the Supermarket Simulator or Discord certainly gave me. I will caveat this in fairness with, I joined that Discord not long after Supermarket Simulator came out. It may have improved. I don't know. I went there. I saw the Discord. I didn't really like it. I left, and I've not been back since. So my opinion on that is based purely off the few hours I was in the Discord, and I just thought, no, it's not for me. This. So it may have changed, but it's not something that I'm going to be going back to. First impressions count, guys, and when that was my first impression, it wasn't a good one, and they're going to last, I'm afraid. people underestimate the value of first impressions quite a lot, because generally the first thing you see is what you're going to associate it with forever, and that wasn't a great thing in the case of Supermarket Simulator's Discord community at the very least. So, but yeah, I've been really enjoying Grocery Store Simulator, especially in multiplayer. My store's much bigger on the game that I'm playing that I'm not currently streaming. I do apologise if you can hear my mechanical keyboard. I know it's a little bit noisy. Unfortunately, the room where I do all my streaming and gaming and stuff like that, it's not very big, so I don't really have a lot of space to work with. I happen to quite like where I live as well, so this is something that's not going to change in a hurry, I'm afraid. So it's quite a small room that I have set aside to do all my YouTube and PC related stuff. And honestly, it's not quite big enough for the things that I actually need to use the room for. But like I said, I quite like where I live, so you know, if that's the kind of downside to it, then I will happily take it. So, but yeah, I do apologise if my mechanical keyboard's a little bit on the noisy side. If it becomes an issue, I will try and address it, maybe by finding just a regular sort of crappy keyboard. Although I don't really want to do that. I quite like my mechanical keyboard, some sort of Razer mechanical keyboard. So I wanted to get a box of Chipsidian. What I'm going to do as well is I'm going to open while we're waiting for that. So Grocery Store Simulator doesn't have bays like other supermarket simulators does. You go over to this box, you press store open or store closed, and that opens or closes the store. And then these guys come from absolutely nowhere. I assume all the way from that city there, long drive mate, all the way from that city over there, and decide that they want to shop here. It doesn't make much sense, but yeah. So just recently I did a review stroke first look kind of deal for a supermarket simulation game on the PS4 for Houndlander Gaming, and in it I mentioned that the shop was at least based in a city, unlike Grocery Store Simulator. So I did have a slight kind of jibe at Grocery Store Simulator, but I want to say that I do really enjoy this game. So it's a very, very minor gripe, and maybe something that the developer will work on, sort of over time. As things go, this is probably the least important thing that I would address right now. Okay, so our first customers, you're right, mate. You got enough fake Pringles there. So it's 24.15. Mr. Wash, dude, you're wearing a vest. I don't think you need 2 boxes, mate. So change to give 0. All right. So one of the problems with this game at the sort of larger store level is that it's taking quite a while to restock. Especially when the store's quite large and you've got loads of customers. So at the moment it's working out that me and the people I'm playing it with, for every 1 minute that our store's open, we're basically spending a minute restocking. And this isn't accounting for the fact that while the store's open, one of us is constantly restocking as well. So one of the things that I want to see pretty sharpish from an update sort of perspective is restockers to at least ease the burden of restocking large stores, because at the moment in the larger stores it is getting quite significant, the sort of time needed to actually restock your store. Did you just come in and just walk out? There's nothing here for you. So yeah, I hope that they add restockers to this game pretty sharpish, because I think that's probably my number one, only sort of like real gripe. So 12, 16, 784, 467, 75, 4. Okay, there we go. So flour's selling quite well, and Mr. Wash is selling quite well. Mr. Wash always sells really well. I've noticed that on my other game as well. We are constantly restocking Mr. Wash. Mr. Wash, flour, caster sugar, and cookies. Yeah, So you want no change back. Bean soup, you're in for a meal, you are, aren't you, mate? So, okay, another one just came and walked out. It looks exactly the same as the last one, actually. Okay. Rather noisy dog outside at the moment. Let's just grab a couple of things. 1, 2, 1, 2. One of those. 2 of those. And 2 of those. And then we'll go grab that stuff in a moment. 2 of everything. Apart from Mr. Wash. So 29.72. So 4.53 change. 50, 1, 2, 3. So yeah, my setup isn't completely ideal, I'm afraid. But like everything, you got to make do with what you got. So 3, just straight up 3. Dog really going at it outside now. I'm not sure if my microphone's going to pick that up. I recently bought a new microphone to address some of the audio issues I was having. It's got a little bit better, but I think that one of the problems I'm still having is that my microphone is still ever so slightly picking up the audio from the fans of my PC, which are about 1.5 meters away from the microphone. But like I said, with my room being so small, with the space available to me being so small, I can't really do an awful lot about that. Just got to make do with it. It's quite a warm day as well to have your dog just sort of outside barking. 6? No, did I? Okay, take that back. Oh right, I'm reading the total required as the change. Okay, keep on doing that. First time today, but okay. So you want 164 back. Okay, let's try and grab a bit of that stock here. I have got a microphone set to only recording audio in front of me, but the dog outside's really going for it at the moment. I have 2 dogs myself, and they're not very noisy or barky, but with them being Siberian Huskies, they generally tend to be fairly quiet dogs, at least in terms of barking anyway. Certainly the ones that have been in the family for years are of that kind of temperament, at least when it comes to noise anyway. When it comes to actual sort of behaviour, they are nuts. There's no other way of describing it. They are off their heads. My dogs are getting a little bit old now, so you would think that they would calm down a little bit, but no, they're still just as bonkers as they have ever been. So 7. Okay, 9.49. So that's card payment. Okay, let's get the rest of this stuff out. So basmati. Did I not order basmati? Okay, so basmati. Let's get another bean soup, a washing powder, and go with that. Did that order? Didn't order that, did it? That did order now. So get Mr. Wash out. Yeah, see, Mr. Wash is just selling really well already. Got a new mouse mat recently as well. Sort of try and tone down a bit of the noise that my desk was making with the mouse, but I can hear it now going. There's quite a lot of cars here for a relatively small store. With there being no sort of closing time as well, so you don't really have opportunity to sort of set aside 5 minutes to kind of restock your store. So you have to manually close the store when you want to restock, which I think I'm going to be doing kind of soon, as it's getting a bit busy and I can't really do both. So 1867. Oh, the guy did actually add self-checkouts. I've just remembered. So he added self-checkouts recently. So so I might buy one of those. I think they're like 700 though. They're quite expensive. So no change, perfect amount, thank you. Okay, I must have hit this. Okay, 1457. You can pay by card today, mate. You couldn't have paid by card sort of last week. So 1851, so 5, 6, 7, 8. 51. Thanks for coming. Okay, 1095. Let's get some more basmati out on the shelf. Oh, okay. I missed it a little bit. So bean soup. Yay. Sounds delicious, doesn't it? Bean soup. It's literally... It's poverty in a can. That's what that is. Poverty in a can. Yeah, I can say that. I grew up quite a poor boy, so... I'm allowed to say that. Bean soup, baked beans, cheese on toast. Yeah. I think that was all the baked beans I could get out. Okay. I think that one of the things as well, I'm not 100% sure, so I wouldn't hold me to it. But one of the things I think happens is at night time it feels like there's less people, so it does feel like there's a little bit of sort of ebb and flow in the game. Get that over there. Mr. Wash. Oh, I hate that when they stand in front of you, it stops you actually placing out your product. Alright, so what we got here, mate? We've got a feast of apple and cinnamon and flour. Gonna dust that off with a little Mr. Wash. They're not hundreds and thousands sprinkles, you know, mate. Speaking of Mr. Wash. So with this being on my sort of secondary PC upstairs, I like a lot of my gameplay footage where I do commentaries on them. This is actually on my Core i3 build, so that's 20, 1, 2, 3, 4, 64. This is on my Core i3 build, so I have a Core i3 9100F and GTX 1060 with 16 gigs of RAM. It runs well enough. So 6.98, but then again it's not the most demanding of games. I'm still working on the Legion Go stuff that I know I've been saying that I'll get it done for quite a while, guys. It's just it seems to be sort of one problem after the other at the moment with that thing. And to be honest, it's not even related to the device necessarily. So some of it is sort of capture related, because I'm trying to capture it via an external capture card. Both the Ally and the Legion don't seem to play particularly well with external capture cards. I could of course record it using something like MSI Afterburner, which captures direct from the frame buffer, but then that has its own performance penalty, and given that I'm trying to do a performance review on the Legion, it's not ideal again. So usually the Radeon software, because the Legion Go is powered by the 780M, the same one that's in the ROG Ally. However, like the ROG Ally, it's not allowing me to use the AMD Adrenalin software to capture footage, and I think that's because, at least on the Ally anyway, it was because the Ally didn't have any hardware encode decode on the chip, whereas the Legion has a newer version of the Ryzen Z1 Extreme, and I think that one should actually have hardware encode decode. It certainly does on the desktop models of that series of processor, and with this being the Phoenix revision, that's also supposed to have hardware encode decode, but I don't know whether it's a case of just they've not put out specific drivers for the features that should now be available to it or not. Let's get some basmati out. Or Mr. Wash. So we're nearly at self-checkout money. With me playing this game solo, I will be picking up a self-checkout when I am able to. So 17.98. Staple ingredient flour. So what I'm going to do actually is I think I'm going to put the price of that flour, because I've had this flour selling at 4. So let's just put it at $3.19. Let's put the bean soup at $169 or $169. Yeah, sure. Mr. Wash at 6.5, so that's a sort of 9% increase. And the apple and the cinnamon will put up to $3.19. All right. So that won't be reflected in these prices, I don't think. Nope. Or these ones, because I think she was picking up before I change the prices. So $3.27 change. $16.68. $16.88. Close enough. Alright, let's get some more. Do I need more flour? Did I order more flour? I've got a box here. Get that on the shelf. And some of that will go out. And more Mr. Wash. That always seems to go out, that Mr. Wash. Just sort these out as well. So oh, this cash is giving me this time. Here I am typing it. Sometimes I seem to run on autopilot. Thought he handed me his card, but he hadn't. Whereas he did hand me his card, so 10.17. Okay, just sort of run on autopilot sometimes. So I can now order the... No, I can't. Store level required 5. Okay. Got a little bit more work to do yet then. So 225, 1, 2, 25, and 586 change. So 33, 44. Okay. Need to get another order in, I think. So Mr. Wash, flour. Just get 2 of each. So Mr. Wash, flour. I'll get 3 of those. Basmati and 1 bean soup. Alright, mate. There's no cashiers available on this game either. Thanks to the exact change. Oh, bit of stutter there. 518. Just get that stuff in now. So I just usually throw it in the back of the stock room, and then when I have the shelves, that's all sorted out, but not a priority right now. Couple of people waiting. There's stuff selling even at the slightly increased prices. I think I raised the price of everything, so 97 change. Get some flour out on the shelf quickly. Get the rest of that bean soup out. Did he just come in and leave without buying anything? I think he did. Okay. Shaking her head. I assume it's too expensive for her now. That's okay. Someone else come along and buy it. No, actually, that's another one that's shaking their head. Have I raised the price of that one a bit too high? So let's adjust the price of Chipsidian. So I don't get it. They're coming in shaking their heads at Chipsidian, but it's the retail price. No, coming in and doing it. One of the games that I've really been sort of addicted to lately is Frostpunk. Man, what a great game that is. Really enjoying playing that at the moment. I'm really looking forward to Frostpunk 2. I didn't even know about Frostpunk until it was actually recommended to me, believe it or not. 85, 93. But since I started playing it and got into it, I've been having such a good time with it. Thanks for your money. 876, 678, 75, 6. Yeah, I hadn't even heard of it until fairly recently. 1776. I'm sure the Americans will appreciate that one. Being a Brit myself, maybe a little less so. Okay, so that's 2306. 23. I mean, you can pay me 230 if you want. Hi again. Paying by card, 3182. So I've been trying to finish the last autumn scenario on Frostpunk. That is quite difficult. That I only bought the DLC a few days ago. But yeah, when I started playing Frostpunk for the first time, I kept on losing the scenario all the time. It's one of those games where you learn by failure. And I can tell you now, I did fail a fair bit. But eventually I got the hang of it and I'm doing really well now. So on the Ark scenario, I was even able to help New Manchester, which requires a lot of resources. I put that video on my channel quite recently as well. Sort of how-to guide to make sure that you help the citizens of Manchester. It's a really cool game and I've been really enjoying it. And if you haven't played it, and you like that style of game, you probably should too. So here we go. 2703, so that's the exact change. I'm really looking forward to seeing what they actually do with Grocery Store Simulator. I've been fairly happy with the speed of the updates so far. That's another thing that I could probably go on all day about the other one. So it received an update at the end. Supermarket Simulator received an update at the end of last month. Coincidentally, the same day that the Steam sales actually started, having not received an update for, I think it was 2.5 months prior to that. So yeah, and now Steam sales come and gone, and Supermarket Simulator was one of the games on sale, and now it's not received another update yet, and I think we're a month in since the last one now. Whereas at least Grocery Store Simulator, the guy does seem to, I assume it's a guy, I apologise if it's not, the person working on Grocery Store Simulator is quietly working on pushing out updates, and yeah, it's really good. So 465, 1, 2, 3, 4, 50, 65. Okay, and what I'm going to do here is I'm going to close my store and serve these people here, and then probably restock and wrap up for the day. I've still got quite a few things to do. What time is it now? Yeah, I've still got a few things I need to do today, so fairly short episode today. Hopefully, if you guys like it, there can be longer ones in the future. So 1966, 10, 15. Okay, and my final customer of the day, 21.97. Alright, so we're doing pretty well. We're finishing the day on 1,100 quid, 1,100 shop dollars. And our shelves are still fairly well stocked because we've been able to keep on top of that, as well as the customers that came through the door too, so we're doing alright so far. I shall put the bean soup out. And we're done. Alright, and I'm gonna wrap up my day's work here today at ZonalFear's Desert Supply. If you like this video, let me know in the comments, and maybe we can start making this a thing. Until next time guys, take care, bye bye.